Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So inshallah we will start learning Surah Al-Kahf, ayat number 75 to 77. The story continues. That is a journey between Musa alayhi salam and Khidr. And the ayat number 75 is at a point where two events have taken place, and Musa alayhi salam, as he promised, could not keep patience. So on the second event, when Khidr alayhi salam killed a child, Musa alayhi salam again questioned him. So in ayat number 75, Khidr alayhi salam is responding to him by saying, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Qala alam aqul laka. Khidr is saying, Allah says, Khidr said, Alam aqul laka, he addressed Musa alayhi salam by saying, had I not said to you, Innaka, that indeed you, Lan tastati'a ma'iya sabra, you will not be able to have patience with me. So at that, Musa alayhi salam responded in the next ayat by saying, Qala, he said, Musa alayhi salam said, In sa'altuka, if I question or I ask you, an shay'in, about anything, ba'adaha, after this thing that has taken place this time, fala tusahibni, so don't give me your company, or we can separate at that point. Qad balagta, and indeed has reached, min ladunni, from me, uzra, an excuse, a reason that we can separate if I ask you any more questions. So Khidr alayhi salam, it looks like he did not reply, but the journey continues. Fantalaqa, so both of them proceeded, hatta, until, idha ataya, when both of them arrived or reached, ahala qaryata, a qaryatin, to the people of a town. So the ayah says, istat'ama, they asked the question for the food, so they can be made as their guests, or they can be fed. Ahlaha, from the people of the town. So they refused. Fa'abaw, so the people of the town refused or denied, an yudayyifuhuma, that they will host them, they will provide food to them. So that happened there. Then the ayat says, Fawajada, so both of them, both Musa and Khidr, Fiha jidaran, found in there a wall. Yuridu an yanqadda, this wall was about to fall down, about to collapse. Fa'aqamahu, so he, and he here is Khidr, straightened that, he made it straight, he fixed it. So upon that, Musa alayhi salam again could not keep quiet, and he said, Qala, Musa said, Law shi'ta, if you had willed, if you had wanted, lattakhazta alayhi ajra, you would have taken some payment for this thing, or for this extra work you did for the people of the town. So the story continues after that, but ayat number 77 stops here. So we'll go back to the beginning, inshallah, and we'll do a very detailed breakdown. The ayat number 75 is a repetition exactly of the ayat before, 2-3 ayats before that, where first time when Musa alayhi salam had questioned Khidr that why did he make a hole in the boat, Khidr alayhi salam said to him the same thing which is repeating now. So Qala alam aqul laka, so these are the words coming out of Khidr, and I'm going to use some words here again this time so we can learn one more time. Qala is simple thing, And alam aqul is a combination of two different, actually three different words. And each of these words affect the other one to bring in this final format. So I'm just briefly going to repeat this one. This alif in the beginning is a question mark. It brings a question mark in the statement. Alif with a hamza and fatah. Then lam is a negative statement, makes the statement a negative, a verb negative, but it does couple other things. So what it does is, I'm going to one more time write down because this word comes very often. The word is qawla, qaf, waw, lam, means to say. Aqulu is the actual word. Okay, aqulu, I say, or I will say. So this is the actual word, aqulu, I say. And it is a present tense and the first person singular. Okay, but the characteristics of the lam is that when it comes before a verb which is singular or plural, but it is a present tense, it makes it negative and pulls in the past tense. And third thing it does, it looks at the last letter and changes the last letter dhamma to a sukoon. So lam, however you this is, the meaning will be that I did not say. Not comes there and it takes into the past tense. But again the problem is here that you have two letters, waw and a lam, both have sukoon or jazm on them, and two letters when they come with the same jazm cannot be pronounced. So we have to fix this one, and the easy way to fix is that we do not pronounce this lam and we throw it away. So what is left is qul, aqul, that's the word in the Quran. And then there is a question mark. So the meaning of these three words combined will be, he's saying, did I not say? Lam aqul, I did not say, but this alif is bringing a question mark. So the in English it will be, did I not say? So this is, Khidr is reminding Musa alayhi salam that I had already said something to you. And then he's telling him, what is that I had said to you? Again, there are two words in between, laka. Laka means to you. Innaka is emphasizing the statement, indeed you Musa alayhi salam. Then again, it's a very interesting that there are, I just want to spend a minute on that because this is very important. There are three things that make negative, la, and we just learned lam, and the third one is also coming here, which is lan. All three make the statement negative, but their usage and their application is different. This is very important things to know if we are trying to understand the Quran. La, for example, when it comes before a noun, and very good example is that something that we repeat all the time, the actual word noun, this is a noun, and actual word is ilahun. The noun is ilahun, but when this la comes before a noun, it looks at the last letter and changes both dhammas to one fatah. This is the kalima we say all the time, la ilaha illallah. So ilahun change into ilaha. La makes it negative and also changes two dhammas to one fatah. So the combination is la ilaha, and basically it's denying a noun, saying there is no God. La ilaha, there is no deity. Okay, but lam and lan both are negative also, just like lam, but their usage and application is different. We just learned what lam does. It makes it negative, but it changed the last letter to a sukoon. So this was originally a dhamma, it changed to a sukoon. This was two dhammas, it changed to a fataha. Lan also does something. Okay, so what lan, and we can see here, but I want to just give an example that if the same word was there, aqulu, and lan comes before that. Aqulu means I say. Lan will bring into the future and brings the meaning of never, number one. Number two, it changes the last letter to a fataha. So lan aqula will mean I will never say. Lam aqul means I did not say. And la is working on the noun and it is making ilaha of ilahun. So these are all negative, all of them are not, but their application and their usage and their effect on the next word is totally different from one another. So keep in mind, because these three words come a lot in the Quran, because the next thing, lan tastati'a, as I mentioned that last letter, this one makes a zabar or fataha, and so we can look from there what this lan is doing. Next one, the root letters are ta, waw and ain. Okay, these are three letters, bab fa'ala. We are going to go to bab istafala, which is we put ist in the beginning, and fa'ala. So this become is ta, and this waw sound will change into an alif, so it becomes istata'a. Istata'a, this word became before, means to have the ability of doing something. Istata'at is also used in Urdu, means to be able to do something. So istita'a, ability or to be able to do something. When you put a ta in the beginning, it becomes the tastati'o becomes the grammar of you, second person, tastati'o. Tastati'o means you are not able to. Ta is for you and it is a present tense, but lan is before that. Lan brings the meaning of never in the future, and also we just learned that it looks at the last letter and changes dhamma to a fataha. So this is the word in the Quran. Lan tastati'a means I had told you before, lan tastati'a, you will never be able to have what? Sabran, patience, maya with me. So this is very important concept that how lan is acting here. It is telling not only that it's a grammatical excellence, but it is the context also is so important here, because Khidr, not knowing who Musa was, met him first time, and right in the beginning he told him, lan tastatiya, you will never be able to have patience with me, which means he has this extra ilm and the knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that even though the person who is walking with me is a prophet, but he is still going to act like a human nature, and he will not be able to have any patience when he sees some extraordinary thing with me. So he is using the word lan. You will never be able to have maya with me. You may have patience in the other places, but with me, if you are walking with me, then you will not behave like a normal person. And patience, sabran is the word, patience, will not be able to. Okay. So now this time Musa alayhi salam has done it a second time, could not keep his reaction. So this time Musa alayhi salam said, okay, this was last time I'm asking you, but after that you will have whatever you want to do. I will not question anything and we can separate. So the statement is Qala. In sa'altoka. Now Musa alayhi salam is saying something. So he is setting up a condition. He's saying in means if I do something next time. Okay. The next word is seen, alif, and lam. This means to question, to ask. The word sawal is from the same thing. Sa'ala means to ask. Fa'alta, fa'alto, if you have the grammar of fa and en lam, and you put a ta at the end and pronounce fa'alto, this is the grammar of I do. Okay, so if I put ta here at the end, it means I ask. So sa alto, I ask. Ka means you. So that's the word in the Quran. In sa'altoka, if I ask you. So Musa alayhi salam saying that I have questioned you 2 times, but if in sa'altoka I ask you an shay'in, about a thing. An means about, shay'un is a thing, but it's an is a harf jar, so shay'un becomes shay'in. So he's saying that if I ask you about anything, but the important thing to notice is that he is using the word ba'adaha. Ba'adaha. Okay. Actual word is ba'adun, but if you combine as mudaf ilayh with ha, it ba'aduha, and it is coming as a maf'ul of sa'altoka, so it comes ba'daha. But the important thing is that he's saying after it. But this it is a feminine word. So what is he pointing to? After it. After what? In the previous ayat, they were talking about a soul, a person who was killed, a child was killed. Okay? And the word for that was used as nafsun, a being. And nafsun is a feminine word. So he's saying that after that person was killed, after that, if I ask any more questions to you. So that is what this ba'daha is. And we can look at more later on. But he's saying, if I ask, then something should happen. So it's a shart, condition. If I ask, and jawab-e-shart is, fala tusahibni. So let's look at that. This is simple word. Fa means so or then. And this is a jawab-e-shart. Response of the in, if and then. La means not. Okay. Then the word is swad, ha and ba are the root letters. And this is like a sohbat and be in company of something. This is a bab-e-fa'ala. And we are going to make bab-e-fa'ala by adding an alif. It becomes sahaba. Sahaba means to give company, to join and give company. Sahaba. When you put a ta in the beginning, it becomes the grammar of you do. La is a negative. So we are actually going to make a command here by saying, don't give company. And when you say don't, it's a amr, but in the nahi, negative form. Don't do. Don't company with me. Okay, that's what he's trying to say. So the rule is that when you want to make an order in the negative format, the rule is that you put a la in the beginning, and you put a ta in the beginning, and you put the letters. But important thing is that last letter should have a sukoon on. La taf'al. This is the format or the grammar that if you want to tell something, don't do. You put a la in the beginning, you put a ta, because ta is for the second person who is in front of you, you're telling him don't do. and then last letter should have a sukoon. So la taf'al. In our case, we have 4 letters: swad, alif, ha, and b. So the word will be la tosahib. La tosahib. Ta has a pesh, dhamma, and sukoon is there already, because in 4 letters, the first letter carries a dhamma, in 3 letters it carries a fataha. La tusahib, this is the word. La tusahib means don't give company. Okay, la tusahib, don't give company. Then we put a ya. Ya means me. So to join that, we put a noon viqaya. We have done many times. So the word becomes la tusahibni. Don't give me any company, or don't keep me with you. Okay, so we're saying, if I ask any more question, if in sa'altuka is a condition, shart, jawab is shart, response of the condition should be, you don't keep me with you anymore. Then he's saying that, so Musa alayhi salam after said it, saying one more statement, qad balagta min ladunni uzra. So what he, before I do the breakdown, what he's trying to say is that the reason for separation will not be you, but that will be me. You have an excuse now.
Recording in progress.
Just 1 second. So, qad balag.
Your voice is gone.
Okay. Can you hear? Oh my God. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, now it's there.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what I was saying, the word was qad balagta min ladunni uzra. So what Musa alayhi salam is saying, that the reason of separation will be me, not you, because I could not keep patience here. So if I ask any more, don't keep me, fala tusahibni, qad balagta. So let's look at that word. The root letters are ba, lam, and ghan. Balaga. Balaga means to reach. And the word from iblag and tabligh are from the same. Making someone reach or reach. So balaga means to reach. So when you put the grammar of fa'alta, balagta. So when you put a ta at the end, it means it reached. Okay. Actually, you have reached. Qad is definite, indeed. Balagta, you have reached. Okay. Min ladunni, so that is from me. And the word we have seen that before, ladun, and ya is me, and min is from. So combination of these three is min ladunni, from me. Uzrun is the word. Uzr is commonly known as an excuse or as a reason. Ain, zal, and ra. The word is uzrun with 2 dhammas. Okay. But it is coming as a maf'ul of reaching, balagta. So it will become as 2 fathas with an alif extra. So it will be pronounced as uzra. When you stop, you pronounce uzra, but the word is uzran. Qad balagta, indeed has reached you, min ladunni, from me. Musa alayhi salam is saying, uzra, an excuse. So now you have an excuse that you can depart and leave me and we can separate. Because it will be my doing this time if we do one more. So he's actually asking for one last chance to stay with Khidr. So upon that, it sounds like Khidr has not replied anything, or maybe he did, but Quran doesn't say that. Quran says fantalaqa, this word coming third time. So both of them, it's a grammar of two, proceeded, continued walking. Hatta, until, ida, when. The word, next word is alif ta, ya. This means to come. Ata amrullah. Okay. So when you put three fathas on them, so ata, ya. He came, one person came, and this is written as alif ta, ya. So one person came. If you want to make the grammar of two people, then you add an alif after that, and it is written then the way it is written in the Quran. This ya is written in the middle, so it looks just like that. Ataya, they both came. Alif has a mad because next word is Hamza here, because Hamza, this alif will have a mad. So ida ataya, when they arrived or when they came. Where did they came? Where did they come? Ahala qaryatin. So ahalun means the people. Ahalu ayal we say. Ahalun, people. And the qaryatun means as a town or a community, small. Qaryatun, this word has been coming many times. Ahalun qaryatun. So you make mudaf ilayh by putting an of. People of the town. So that will remove one thamma here. So it will become ahalu. And this will become two zair kasras. Qaryatin. People of the town. Okay. Ataya is a verb, and this is coming as a maful. So this will change to ahla. Ahla qaryatin. Hatta iza, they continued walking, proceeded, until when ataya, they both came, ahla qaryatin, to the people of a town. Okay. So what happened after that? So the next word, it starts with the root letters ta, and mim. Ta'ama. The word ta'am means eating or food. So ta'ama means to eat. Okay. This is bab fa'ala. If I apply bab number 10 and add an ist in the beginning and keep this ta, ain and mim, so this will become istat ama. Istat ama means asking for food. Istat ama. By adding an ist in the beginning, this will bring the meaning of asking for the food or asking to be made as guest. Okay. So that is the word. And actually, so the name of the bab is also the third person past tense grammar. So the word istat ama means he asked for the food. When you add an alif there at the end, it becomes the question of people, two people are asking now. Istat ama, that's the word in the Quran. When you're reading together, you're reading qaryatin istat ama, but actually separately the word is, because the bab istafala has is in the beginning. So istat ama, if I read them separately, the separate word is istat ama. They, both of them, two people, Khidr and Musa, they asked for food, or they asked that they should be made guest in that town by the people of the town. And again, the people of the town is ahlaha, its people. Ha is pointing to the qaryatin, Ahlaha, we just saw that. The same word is repeating. This time only pronoun is coming. Ahlaha, its people, the people of the town, they asked them to provide. So they may be traveling a while. They must be tired or hungry. So they stopped in the township and they asked the people to give them some food. So what happened? The Quran uses one word, fa'abaw. So the root letters are alif, ba, and ya. The meaning of these three is to refuse. Okay. Okay, so if I put three fathas, it became the meaning he refused. Okay, and this will be written as alif, ba, and ya. Abba, he refused. Okay. Now, if you want to make a plural, you add a waw at the end. It is more than two. Waw is a plural of more than two because there are many people in the town. Okay, and before that only two people are asking, so we added alif there. But if more than two people are there, you add a waw there to make a plural. Okay, so this means they refused. Okay, now you have a little issue here. There is a ya and there is a waw with a sukoon. So we throw away the sound of ya. So what is left? Alif, ba, and waw. This is Hamza. Bow. Okay, so that is the word in the Quran. Fa is separate, so or then. Abaw is the word in the Quran, which means they refused. Okay, and this alif is written with the plural, which is not pronounced, with the little circle. Okay, so fa abaw, they, the people of the town, they refused. Refused about what? Quran says an yudayyifuhuma. This word looks like big, but it is a very simple one. Dod, ya, and fa. Okay, these are the root letters. So these, ziyafat, if there is a commonly word, means to host someone, to make someone guest, to provide the food is called ziyafat. This word, to make host, okay, to make host is babe fa'ala, and you put a ya in the middle letters. So dayyif is the word, and the meaning of this is to make host, to provide food to someone, to help someone eat. Okay, so they wanted to be fed, but people refused that they should make them guest. Okay, so how is that? First of all, you put a ya in the beginning and wuna at the end. Yaf'aluna, when you put a ya and wuna at the end, becomes the grammar of they and the past tense. So this will become yudayifuna. So this is actual full word. Yudayyi, you can put two here. Yudayyifuna means they make host, or they take them as their guests. Okay. Now, this word in the beginning is an. An is doing two things. An is bringing the meaning of that, and an also makes the last letter go away because this is a noon Arabi. Instead of we put an alif which is not pronounced, so it becomes an yudayyifu. When you pronounce that noon and ya come together, you pronounce the noon gunna here, so you'll be an yudayyifu. That's the word in the Quran. That they refused, or they would make them host. Fa'abaw, they refused. An yudayyifu, that they will make them as guests. Huma is pointing to two people. Huma means two. They of two, and this is Khizr and Musa. So people of the town, which is the Ahlaha, fa'abaw, they refused, an yudayyifu, that they will host them. Huma means both of them. So they refuse that they will not going to give any food to Khidr and Musa. So what happened after that? Fawajada. Again, important thing is that you have to notice that you have to read the Quran correctly by paying attention on every single letter and every single word. Wajada means to find. Okay, if you put three fathas, it becomes the grammar fa'ala, he did. Wajada, he found. Wajada means he found. Important thing is that if you look and pay the attention in the Quran, there is an alif there. If you quickly passed by saying wajada, you have pronounced the Quran wrong, because now this is the grammar of two people. If you did not pronounce it properly, it says wajada and went away quickly, that is means one person found. Here it is the grammar of two people. Both of them, Khidr and Musa alayhi salam, they found. Fiha, in it. Again, ha is pointing to the qarya, feminine word. They found in that town. What did they find in that town? Something they found, jidaran. So root letters are jim, dal and ra. Jidarun means a wall. Something which is creating a restriction. Jidarun means a wall here. So there was a wall, a separation of something. So they found a wall. Now the actual word is jidarun, but it is coming as a maful of fawajada. So it becomes maful, and maful becomes with two fathas, and two fathas carry an alif with that. So fiha jidaran, they found a wall in there, in the town. So what was happening to that wall? The word is yuridu. Now the word is ra, waw, and dal. Babe fa'ala. Babe af'ala, you put an alif in the beginning and it becomes a. If you put an alif here, fatah on waw, it becomes the sound of alif. So it becomes arada. Arada is irada we use. Irada means to make intention. One of the meaning is to wish or to want or to make intention. Okay, so we'll use the literal meaning and then we can adjust that. Arada means to intend something or about doing something. And when you put a ya in the beginning, it becomes the grammar of present tense, yuf'ilu, yuridu. Yuridu means it was intending. Simple meaning first is yuridu, it was intending. Now it is pointing to the wall. Wall is doing something. Wall has some intention. Okay, literal meaning. What is that intention or what is about, in the mind of this wall, if you think that something is going to happen. Ayyan qadda. So when we combine this and we go back to yuridu and fix the meaning to the proper sentence, the word an means that. Okay, and an will do the same thing we have seen before, but first let's look at the word qaf, dad, and dad. These are the root letters. Qada, da. The meaning of that is that first of all, this is bab fa'ala, 3 letters. We are going to make bab number 7. Bab number 7, we add it in the beginning. So it becomes in fa'ala. And the good example of this bab does not come very often in the Quran. But one good example that we know is if you have the 3 letters nazara. Nazara means to see. If you put in before that, it becomes intazara. Intazara means intizar, waiting for something. So if you keep looking, seeing something to come and the person is not coming yet, that's intizar. So that's how we make a bigger word by using the word in the beginning, and that's called bab number 7. So they apply that in on these three letters. In these three letters, this bab is used. So in qadada or in qadda. The meaning of this is to fall down, to collapse, to break down. So that's the meaning of in qadda or in qadada. Two same letters can be pronounced with a shadda. So the sound at that time will be in qadda. Okay. Meaning is that to collapse, to fall down. Okay. So when you put a ya in the beginning, it becomes the grammar. So first of all, this word will be written as in qadda. Okay, the meaning is to collapse or to fall down. When you put a ya in the beginning, it becomes the grammar of third person. He, yaf'alu, he does. And then in this case, alif is not used. So this grammar will be yun qaddu. This will be yun qaddu. Yun qaddu means it collapses, it falls down. Okay. Now when you put an will do the same thing, and an will bring the meaning that, and will change last letter to a fataha. So it will become an yan qadda. When you read again together, this ya and noon together should be the sound of gunna, noon, gunna, or idgham. An yun qadda. Actually, it is not the much, it's fatah. In this bab, this carries fatah. An yan qadda. That it collapse or it is going to collapse. Now, combined with the word yuridu. Yuridu means a little meaning was intended, but it is about to, it was close to be collapsed, which means the wall, there was probably a wall made of bricks or something, and its condition was such that any time it could collapse and fall down. So the meaning of yuridu will be it is about to happen. It looks like it was going to fall down. Okay. So they found a wall in there, and the wall was about to collapse, to fall down. So what happened with that? The word after that is of these three root letters, qaf, waw, mim. The meaning is to stand up. Okay. And there are other meanings. This is bab fa'ala. So we are going to make bab afala and put alif in the beginning. So it becomes alif, qaf, waw, and mim. Okay. Af'ala, when you put a fatah on a waw, its sound becomes like sound of alif, so it becomes aqama. Aqama means to make something straight. Qawma means you stand up straight, but aqama is to make something straight. That's the meaning of aqama. So, and also the meaning, the name of the bab is the third person's past tense. So if I write down the word, full word together, it will be written that aqama. Aqama means he made it straight. He made one person grammar, third person the past tense. He made it straight. Important thing is that, again, notice the depth of the sentence here. Fa means so, but this is the grammar of one person. Okay, they both found the wall there. Quran says fawajada. Both of them, Musa and Khidr, found the wall. The condition of the wall was that it was about to collapse. But the word is after that is fa'aqama, so he fixed it. It doesn't say that both of them fixed. And who is it? And this is pointing to the wall. So the word is fa'aqamahu, so he fixed it, the wall. Okay. So looks like that Musa alayhi salam stood there and watched it, however long it took to fix the wall. He didn't help him. He just stood there. After the wall was fixed, then he spoke again. Okay. This time he made a statement. Qala. Qala means Musa alayhi salam said something. He said to Khidr again. He again questioned him about something. What was? Law shi'ta lattakhasta alayhi ajra. First of all, law is a statement of shartiya, and the meaning is that if. Then the word is sheen, ya and alif. This means to will or to wish. We say inshallah all the time. Okay. So when you put three al-fathas, this is actually hamza, or it's written, even written this way. Okay. So when you put three fathas, this changes into an alif, and this will become sha'a. This is the word we say insha'a. Allah willing all the time. Insha'Allah. If Allah wills. So the word is sha. So this is the third person, but in the grammar of the second person, you put a ta in the beginning. Fa'alta, you did. So when you combine these, so how the grammar is made? Fa'alta, the version of fa'alta means you did. Fa'alta, you did. So if you apply this grammar, so it will be sheen, ya, hamza, and ta. Okay. In this case, ya is a weak letter. We throw it away. So it becomes shi'ita. Okay. Because the sound of ya, when we throw away, we move the sound of the ya backward. So sheen carries a kasra because of this ya, which is gone. Shi'ita. Shi'ita means you wished or you willed. Qala law shi'ita, if you had wished. He's saying to Khidr, if you had wished or if you had wanted, you could have done something. What was that? Lattakhasta. Lam is a separate thing. Akhaza are the root letters. This word has come many, many times. And Babe, if ta'ala, we put an alif and a ta. So this becomes alif, kha, ta, 4 letters, alif and ta. So alif and ta. Okay. These 3 are already there, alif, kha, and zal. Okay. In this particular bab, these 2 letters will be pronounced together as a ta and ta. So this will become ta with a shadda. Ittakhaza. Ittakhaza means to take. Lot of places come in the Quran. Ittakhazu, Allah says, take this. Ittakhaza, they have taken the Isa alayhi salam as son. So ittakhaza means to take. Okay. So now here is ittakhazta. Ta brings the meaning of you did. Ittakhazta, you had taken. Lam is a definite, lam ta'qeed. Lattakhazta, you would have taken. Law is a conditional statement. Shi'ta, wanted. Lattakhazta, you could definitely have had taken. So here we have to bring the meaning of had taken or would have done it because of the law. So qala law shi'ta, he says if you had wanted, he said to Khidr, lattakhasta, you would have taken, definitely, alayhi, upon it. What is it pointing to? Building the wall. Ajr is a payment, common words. And because the word is ajrun, alif jim ra, but sound noun is ajrun. Ajrun with two dhammas is a payment, but it is coming as a maf'ul of ittakhazta. So these two dhammas will change to two fathas, and then alif will be there. Ajran, when you stop, you pronounce ajra. So Musa alayhi salam and Khidr, after Khidr had built the wall, Musa alayhi salam again questioned him. And this time it was, look, the people did not feed us, but you did the service to them without taking any payment on that one. If you had wanted, you could have taken some payment on this thing, and for whatever reason, if they could have gotten some food out of that. So now basically he has broken his own commitment about Fala tusahibni. So after that they will separate, and in the ayat we will see that Khidr is going to explain the reasons why he did all these things that he did. So inshallah we'll stop here and we'll continue inshallah. Sadaqallahu al-Azim.